Hello, friends, and welcome to today's DLLS Cowboys Podcast. Did you like that? Is the question that I would ask you to start this day off. The Eagles beat the brakes off the Cowboys. I hope Jerry had a good time. I know we didn't. Well, some of us did. But anyway, we'll get to all of the things that are top of mind for your Dallas Cowboys right now. We got 1 week left, baby. Let's get it. The show starts. Meow. All right, gather around, everybody. It's time to talk about your Dallas Cowboys, as we do every day right here on the DLLS Cowboys Podcast. They got their butts kicked yesterday. I don't remember the final score. 41-7, something like that.
41-7.
500-2.
Up to a little bit.
Yeah, you got that's real. That's the real life of where the Cowboys are this year. I know we enjoyed some competitive football against some bum-ass teams, but you played a good one yesterday, even without their quarterback, and they beat the dog brakes off you. I combined things because I can't say dog. So I just changed things. Anyway, welcome in today, everybody. What a day. We're so blessed.
There you go, Rashad. Favorite podcast. You're our favorite podcast listener, bro.
Hell yeah.
And Jeremy.
And
Matthew.
Hi, I'm
and
Jeff.
Sin City Cowboys.
Next to me is former Cowboys wide receiver Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
I got nothing.
Next to him is the greatest beat writer in the history of the Dallas Cowboys, Joe Hoyt.
Tell him something, Joe.
We got one more left. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. You'll be missing this in April and May or after the draft.
I won't be missing it in April.
No, not April. After the draft. After the draft, you'll be wanting football in your life. Just savor one more.
3 weeks into May, I'll be missing
yeah.
it. Something like that. Yeah. Next to Joe is our analyst and our X's and O's Queen Aisha Moore.
What's up, KG?
Okay. KG's got a whole ass family, and he's still here every day.
Oh, I love KG.
KG's a psycho. We love.
This lady loves sports too, so.
I used to love sports. Y'all are lame. Didn't show my comment.
Barnacles.
That's his comment.
What do you?
Oh, we're not going. Wait. You're not going to pressure us into showing stuff.
Oh yeah,
right?
you know you can get rid of that comment.
Yeah, you're not going to pressure us into showing you stuff, right? After you call us lame. You just,
No, Matthew, I think that's a great point. If there's one thing we never do, it's bash Jerry Jones. What are you talking about? Weirdo. Anyway, how'd that one treat you, Jesse? Did you have a good time? Did you have a good time with that game? Was that nice? Did you enjoy it? Was it good to you?
4 quarters are done.
Yeah, they did it. They played 4 quarters. Yeah.
4 quarters were played. 4 quarters were participated.
It wasn't not enjoyable or like feel bad. We just watched the game. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday, I just felt like you know what it is. You saw early in the game, like you said, Jeff. You were like, I'm glad it was over with early.
I love a game where you know the outcome pretty quick.
Yeah.
And it was interesting for 8 to 10 minutes. Like they had the first drive.
First drive was going good. Pick 6. And the other drive went well.
And it looked like the Eagles, they might be able to actually compete. It looked like the Cowboys could compete defensively. Like those things held up for like 10 minutes of game time.
Yep.
And then it was just kind of like, oh, okay, here we go. And look, that's what a really good football team looks like.
Typically, we always talk about that. It's like, yeah, even when you play a lesser team at times, like they might keep up with you for a half or whatever, but in the second half, the separation happened, and it happened in the third quarter quick, like you said.
Yeah, they're better than you at blocking, tackling, covering, receiver, running back, throwing. Well,
even with the third guy.
Going into that game, I thought Cooper Rush might be a better player than Kenny Pickett, honestly.
Not a better thrower.
Yeah,
Kenny Pickett's deep ball is pretty good.
But then it was like, okay, but now we have to compare who can protect better, who's throwing to better players, and who's covering with worse players, and all of those different things. And it turned out that our football team isn't any good.
Yeah.
And shout out to them for fighting and scratching and clawing against okay teams and bad teams and playing their asses off. But when you ran into a team that's just better than you at everything, well, that's what it looks like. And that's what the Cowboys are going to have to overcome when you get into next season. And to the guy who's mad at us for not talking crap about Jerry, I'm not going to give you another rant. Jerry Jones sitting on his ass and choosing to not compete this year, that's what it looks like. The Cowboys and Eagles split the season almost every year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Occasionally the Cowboys sweep. Usually they split. Yeah. It's just what happens until you get into one offseason and the Eagles do business as usual and keep trying to get better. And the Cowboys opt not to. Well, hey, here's the result.
Yeah.
They beat the crap out of you because they're trying to win. So that was, this is the Cowboy season. There's been bad luck. There's been bad injury luck. But
yeah, they're healthier, but they prepared.
They tried.
They prepared depth-wise as well, though.
They tried. Their owner wants to win. Their general manager wants to win.
He's
it's
willing
the priority.
The coaches to win.
When we were watching the game,
We don't want to win.
Oh. Can I just read it?
I'm gonna listen to you. Jeff's like, it's simple.
We don't want to win.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say yesterday when we were watching the game and they showed Howie Roseman and you just looked like a kid on Christmas that could not get the bike that he wanted. And you're like, you looked like you were window shopping. That's what a GM looks like.
Jerry says he would write whatever check, and Jerry has all of this net worth, and we know he's lying because there are checks that you could write that would improve your football team that you won't write, and it happens every offseason. I would pay real money if Jerry would hire Howie Roseman as his GM and just get the F out of the way.
Yeah.
If you would let a monster at team building, at deciding what to do with the salary cap and how, you'd have to bring their cap guy too.
Yeah.
But if you really did, I would write a check. I would write a check that I don't have Jerry money, but I would write that. I would write a check to Jerry to do that because it would be amazing to have the people who are the most interested in only one thing. How are we going to field the best team for the longest period of time and try to sneak a Super Bowl out of this? It would be amazing. It would be amazing.
Do you feel like you have to be a football person to do that, or do you just have to know how the business operates? Like
it's both.
Both. Yeah.
It's both.
Okay.
I mean, the best teams, they do two things. They have you invest in scouting, and part of scouting now is data. Part of scouting is like on average, like there are teams that are going to miss out on some good players because that good player fits into like a physical profile that doesn't usually make it. And they're like, well, we're not going to play that odds game. We'll just go ahead and get rid of him.
Kyle Hamilton.
And we're going to I think all of that stuff works together. And I think the Cowboys have a lot of those things. I think they're very good at scouting. I think they're mostly good at drafting. We're not going to pretend that they're gods at it anymore because they've had certainly their struggles. They're mostly good at being draft and develop. The thing is, if you draft and develop is all you do, and then you pay the guys, not the guys that are the best players. You choose the guys that you like the most, that you're the most comfortable with. Those are the guys who are going to get a second contract, and your very best players that you absolutely can't get rid of. Like there's too many leaks in the ship of how the Cowboys do business.
Yeah.
To be able to compete with the best. And other teams are getting better at this. They're always fine-tuning. How are we acquiring talent? Are fifth-round picks overvalued? Should we be trading those these days? Like everybody, the best, are always getting the best, learning new things. And Jerry's an idiot.
Here's where I think the Cowboys fail us, fail themselves, fail their fans. The Cowboys, to me, are good at collecting players. They're not good at roster building. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference between drafting guys, developing guys, acquiring guys, but do they fit? Are they the pieces that you need brought together in a huddle on the side of the ball that gives you the best and the most efficient way to win, right? Because the roster always has names. Always has names. You're always going to find on this roster names that are consistently Pro Bowlers, All Pros who are found in the top tier of of that position, around the league. But when you look at it, it goes, we can't get that unit to be its absolute best together. That we can go on and beat someone else who may not have as much talent as us or equal talent than us, but their overall team roster is built in such a way they dominate us. And I've talked about this on this program many times about the regular season is one phase, and that's cool to compete, and that's cool to be a part of, and that's cool to, have your way with that at times, and it's necessary, right? Like, in order to get to the big dance, you got to first get the invite.
Yeah.
And you get the invite by how you play during the regular season. But are you built from top to bottom in such a way that when you face as they say, the final bosses in the video games,
yeah,
you're not built to beat those guys, even with the guys that you have when you start talking about the top tier talent guys on this football team. I think the Cowboys are just really good at collecting players and drafting and developing, but the way that they put a roster together is not one of 30-something, close to 30 years of producing a champion.
I think they do the simple things in terms of roster building. That's the path they usually take. You want to draft a guy, cool, and then you want to develop him, then you want to pay him, right? And obviously they draw that out because of attention in terms of paying those guys that deserve to be paid. I just don't think they do the shrewd moves very often. The things where you're like, ooh, like, how did you do that? The things where other GMs go, ooh, that was nice. I think you go back a couple of years ago, Matthew Stafford was available, right? And the 49ers and Rams were both interested in him. And Kyle Shanahan was in Cabo, and he went to bed, and he thought that they were going to get Matthew Stafford in the morning. And at midnight that night, the Rams made a trade for Matthew Stafford. Got him before the 49ers could get him. Rams go on to win the Super Bowl. 49ers still haven't. I think those moves where you talk about being competitive in the season and in the offseason, you got to be competitive in the offseason too. You got to have GMs aspire to do what you do. And I don't think the Cowboys do that.
And, they're not clever.
Yeah.
There's none of that.
When free agency starts, their whole family's on a yacht. They're not here.
But that goes back to what you've been saying and what you've been talking about.
Toy.
There's no urgency. Why would they don't feel the same sense of urgency to even show themselves as good owners, as good businessmen. I think maybe they feel as though they've already done that. And to Jesse's point earlier while we were talking before is just like the rest of the NFL. Like the rest of the NFL in your division, which we saw yesterday and you're probably going to see on, next week if, the Commanders play, is like these people are passing you by. I mean, Jaden Daniels is a player, dog. Like, he's a player. Philly's going to continue to build this roster. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep a lot of their coaching staff because they found some success with Fangio and Kellen Moore. Like, it's not going to get easier for you. And so I don't like that feeling's been sitting on me all season is I feel like not just the Cowboys, the NFL, like other teams are just passing you by and you do not do any of the things to stay relevant or to translate to your point to when you play other teams. It can't just be like centered to, can we beat our division? Can you go in the playoffs and beat other teams?
And right now, the answer to that would probably be no, right? You probably can't beat the Rams. You definitely can't beat Detroit. Minnesota might take you out back and work you over a little bit. You know what I mean? And these are the teams that you have to, and if you had to run across Tampa Bay again, what would that be like? Right?
What would the Rams feel like? I know that they're up and down, but at the same time,
I don't think you would want to. I think the way that McVay schemes stuff up, in the way that you can't stop the run, the way that he develops the run, but yeah, and you were talking about Matthew Stafford, and the rock, like you talking about acquiring him, and then I talk about building a roster. Okay, Matthew Stafford, let's go get him some route runners, right? I go get a guy like Cooper Kupp, and you start adding those pieces around. I got Odell Beckham on, that time when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So like it's just like those things that you just go and get guys that fit. Like, yes, CD fits with anybody.
Mingo, baby.
No, I'm not with you.
He was open.
I'm not with you.
You left his hand.
That's because I tricked him into the first half.
I went full on. That's my boy. We're gonna rock this thing out. But then you said that word. So
Mingo, baby.
No,
it's not how you build a. It's not how you build a roster. You just randomly add one piece because everybody thinks that you're going to sell and you want to regenerate interest in your team, so you overpay for somebody that doesn't fit.
But you add a piece that won't help your quarterback. Like
For the love of
let's
God.
take a break.
He could in theory if he was a great after catch guy and you could get him the ball.
Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about that.
We also have the Mike McCarthy countdown that's going on. We do have your super chats, and I will address like Dave, who wants to know if it's possible the Joneses are in financial trouble. I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of these football teams don't operate with such a strict budget year to year. The salary cap and budget are two different things. The Cowboys are very strict on their budget. Maybe. So yeah, we got a lot coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
2025 is right around the corner, like literally right around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right around the corner. And so if you want to go out today and get some new flooring, what do we have here? We got.
No, it's game time.
Oh, it's game time. I'm sorry.
Game time.
Oh,
yeah.
my apologize.
But if you did want new flooring, you would have
But if you want, I'm sorry. If you want to watch games, the college football season is underway. The NBA, the NFL is coming to an end, but playoffs around the corner. If you want to go to a show, all of those things, you head over to Game Time. Download the app, use our promo code DLLS, and get $20 off your first purchase. Do not wait. Do not settle. Get your friends together. All of you, go to a game.
Go to the Cotton Bowl.
I need to go to
Go
a
to
hockey
the Cotton
game.
Bowl.
Go to the Cotton Bowl.
Go to a hockey game.
I need to go to
Go
that.
look
Go to
us
the
out right
Cowboys.
now.
Go
Go to emo night. Go to emo night.
Go emo night. Go anywhere you need to go that requires tickets. Use the app, Game Time app. DLS, the promo code, $20 off your first purchase. What time is it?
Game time. Shout out to our friends at Sleeper as well. If you've been riding the Rico train, you've been in good shape on Sleeper. What you do on Sleeper is you just pick if players are going to have more or less than their projected stats for each week. If you do that in football, you could do quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, whatever. You can do defense. There's guys that you can pick stats there too. Basketball, hockey, baseball, whatever sport. The more picks that you make, the more you can win, all the way up to 100 times your money. So this weekend we'll have to see what is Washington. I think Washington's going to play you their best because they don't want to be the 7th seed. They want to be the 6th seed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably be looking at Jaden Daniels, maybe a little scary Terry bounce backs and things like that. Rico, always Rico. We like to ride the Rico train. So if you think you have what it takes, new users, you can download that Sleeper app. Use the code DLLSBOYS, and you get $55 in free entries when you place a $5 contest. It's currently operational in over 25 states, including Texas. Check out Sleeper today. All right, where were we? Who were we mad at?
Everybody.
I was mad at everybody.
You want to do the super chat?
I want to apologize for calling Jerry an idiot. When I name
you
call,
don't.
I
No, you
always
don't.
I always want to apologize when I name call because that's not necessary.
Okay. All right.
It is-
You're right.
It is incredibly, incredibly frustrating to me to watch the way that you operate your business. And if I were a business owner,
10 billion.
I think I would run it differently, but I can't prove it. Because, just making the most money you can is a pretty good business goal. So in some ways, congratulations. But as a football fan, watching another team in your division take every aspect of trying to win more seriously is infuriating. Like the fact that their cap guy's background is in economics and manipulating how this stuff works, and the fact that their GM is a GM, and that you just have your friends and family hanging out and like, do you think you could learn to do that? And that's the plan to, it's.
But isn't that
I don't.
I'm sorry.
I have so many comments. I'm just.
I take off
Sounds
sometimes
familiar.
my fan hat, and I just think sometimes, boy, if I could get my friends and family.
No,
I
might do the same.
That's what I'm saying.
I might.
If I could get my friends and family
might.
together, right?
I might.
And we can make a boatload of money every single year.
Yeah.
Because while we don't know the books, Forbes tells us every single year the evaluation of this thing that I've been doing with my family and friends is the best at making money than any other sports program in the world.
Yeah, crushing it.
The world.
The entire world.
If winning was the objective, right? If winning was because I don't think winning games and championships are the objective anymore. I think it's
They want to win enough.
I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
I am a businessman. Jerry is a businessman, a businessman, a businessman, a businessman, and a businessman. And he's never going to fade away from that premise, that identity, that's what he is. That is what he is. Wow. Remember, this was the same dude who, when we talk about this whole salary cap thing, he started that. He started that. Like, that's him. That's literally him. No,
that was to ensure profits for owners. That was the point of it.
I'm not.
Business.
Yeah, business.
He goes, I got mine. Cool. Now that I know that I've got mine and I put myself, I'm not bleeding money anymore. Mm-hmm. I put myself in a great position. I'm now operating in the black. I can make moves across the board now, and I got this thing flowing in the right direction. What I don't want to do is I don't want to allow anyone to really overtake me, and I want to make sure that everybody is making money, because if the league is making money, I'm making money.
He's good at it.
You know what they want to be?
He's great.
They want to be Paranormal Activity. They want to be a low-budget movie that makes millions and wins and does well and gets. They want to be able to claim, like, you know what?
No. They don't want to be that.
No, they want to be the one that, like,
they
on the
are
lower.
That.
That's what I'm saying.
They are that. No, not want to be.
No.
That's
but
who
like,
they are.
But they ideally, like, in terms of winning too, they want to win on top of that.
They are winning.
But not like winning. Like
they're not winning
the winning
championships. But again, they're winning the viewership.
But that's the goal.
They're winning the merchandise.
Yeah.
They're winning the conversation.
Yeah.
They're winning the sports topics.
Yeah.
Like, they're winning.
They're winning at what they want to win on, but they're not winning the ultimate thing. That if they won the ultimate thing, they'd be like, oh, hey, look what we did.
No.
With the way we did it. So
what is the ultimate thing that they're supposed to be winning in your eyes?
No, money.
Okay.
No, what I'm saying is, if they were to win a Super Bowl, they would be like, flaunt their chest and be like, we did it this way.
Yeah, but what if it cost them $150 million to do it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not going to do it.
Because to that, like, just for
they're not going to do it.
Because like
they're not going to win a Super Bowl this way.
Jerry was the guy who wanted the salary cap, and that was a way to make sure that the owners made X number of dollars, because we're only allowed to spend X number of dollars, which is a percentage of the league profit. So we're guaranteeing exactly what we're going to make. Now teams have gotten more, and this is starting to happen in baseball too. Ohtani with all of his deferred money.
Yeah.
Now teams have started to do things where they take that salary cap number, and the teams who really aggressively want to win,
I know,
they are going way over that salary cap.
I know, but the Cowboys aren't going to do that.
Right.
That's why they're not going to.
Well, and the thing is that, and I'm a little bit unfair to them when I'm at my most frustrated, because they will, and they have.
They will.
Like, this might have been year. If you just go back 1 year ago, they had done a lot of pushing people's money back to be able to spend more money where you're actually spending over the cap. Like, they are willing to an extent, and they will somewhat. But as long as there are teams that have the same amount of talent as you and are willing to do it more,
and every year,
you ain't gonna win. Like, you're gonna you're waiting on the year that a few of these Eagles guys that they push back a bunch of money, that their careers end.
But guess
what?
And
they're eating $150 million. And now they're just going to push back their new highest paid players.
No.
And keep spending.
When the Eagles come up and do that, they'll go, oh, now here's Washington. Now their guys are playing well. And then when those guys wear out, hopefully maybe by then the Giants have figured something. They've hired some real football people and some coaches. And so it's this never-ending cycle that you're not participating in.
Yeah, there's several names for the things that you guys have named. Several words for the stuff that y'all have named, and it ends in a lot of isms. This ain't no different. I'm going to try to keep my comments brief, because what y'all just described to me sounds like a business model that is essentially taking advantage of people. So I don't understand it, because if you're not, the players are
the only people getting taken advantage of are the fans. Like, the players aren't. They're getting very well compensated. They're happy. Yeah, you're taking advantage of the fans for sure.
Sure. But even so, even with the compensation of the players and things like that, like, this decision making and the stuff that you are describing is to the detriment of the players, having to change coaches every year, having a revolving door with your coaching staff, them having different guys they like. There's guys that are sitting on IR or not even getting starts now because of a new staff. This affects also too, like, I know they're getting paid and hoorah, but decisions like you're talking about affect the overall financial planning for the players as well. So this is like, I think it's very trivial. And if it's not, and also too, I know, and we've talked about it, Jesse, there are some guys that play the game because they are here for the moolah. I get it.
Yeah.
But there are some guys who do play the game because they legitimately want a championship. They legitimately want to win. And it does have to be taxing. you wanted to win more than your front office does, as it appears to some extent.
Yeah, let me clarify what I was trying to say. I think their rosebud, I think their ideal vision, I think Jerry Jones's dream is to win a Super Bowl in the way that they're doing it.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying. Obviously, the main goal is
they want to win.
Yeah, no, they want to win. And they want to do it by saying, look what we did. We did it this way. We drafted, we developed.
How do you want to win? How do you want to win, but you're not doing the plausible things to win? You don't want to.
It's a great question. And that's the truth. And that's the truth.
It's a brain question because in Jerry's mind, he is absolutely doing the best things to win.
What?
In his mind, absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Because when you are, for the most part, I would say, it's probably most billionaires, you and I are not going to tell him a better way to run his stuff.
Yeah.
He's incredibly successful. Like, can't nobody tell? He told Clarence the first story on ALLDLLS.com.
Can't nobody do like me.
Nobody can do this effing job better than me.
No.
He believes that. So, like, it's in his mind, they are in Stephen Jones' mind, they are absolutely doing everything they can to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They're wrong.
They living in
But when you're that rich, you get to live there.
They're sitting in Arkansas around a table, eating that squirrel and looking at each other and going, "Dad."
You're right though. Like their problems,
son,
they not thinking how we thinking.
They're the best.
Clearly.
Pass me some of that squirrel.
They're the best.
This is triggered me.
And normally they're a pretty good team, and so it's just like we're in the playoffs. We're right there. The problem is when you get to that point. If you're on a good run of drafting and developing and you're making the playoffs consistently, the problem is now you got to run the gauntlet of beating 3 teams and then one in the Super Bowl that's done everything you have done to win.
Yes.
And added 3 big-time free agents that year.
Yes.
Good luck.
Yeah, the other thing, too, is they have – don't kill me. They do have some salary cap hurdles they have to make this year, right? That is a thing.
Yeah, they have to click a button twice.
But they could do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. They got $80 million in cap space staring them in the face.
So it sounds like, because this is where my mind goes when you guys are telling me this. This is what we should expect. This is what, because to this point, you gentlemen have explained to me that this is kind of how they've done things. It's continued. The model is successful, not successful in the way that we look at success. If they're going to keep doing this, like, what is there a solution? How is there maybe an advisor that comes in? Is there anything that doesn't require them
their
not
cap guy's
being...
a homeboy from Arkansas. They're not bringing in a neutral party to tell them how to do business.
So the team is going to have to win in spite of this.
Yeah.
Continue to win in spite of this, which they couldn't do this
No, it
year.
was a good quote. It was a hell of a quote.
You're going to have to wait You're going to have to wait
2 generations?
Yeah.
Oh, it ain't getting better with the next guy. I promise you
it's
that.
not. That's what I'm saying. You're going to have to wait.
Maybe one of his.
I don't know who they have in the line of
I'm gonna be a grandma.
Grandchildren or like you're going to have to wait till those people come into play.
They're around and already learning it. I mean,
and look,
but sometimes you know how you have you can have a family thing going on, and eventually it's that one child or that one offspring that goes, you know what?
I'm gonna do something different.
I don't like the way dad and granddad.
No,
100%.
What about you? What you think?
I think we need to do something differently. Yeah, Jerry's like, I'm over here.
Well, he's just hanging out in the little marketing department.
What you think, Jeff?
The hard part is like, as Clarence Hill would say, we do a show every day. So like these shows are about this season, and this season is the most frustrating one because they didn't try, right? And there is a world that exists because again, just a year ago, that was about as all in as they've ever been.
Yeah,
they were willing to manipulate the salary cap, push back Michael Gallup's money, who I was like, why would you do that? You're not even going to want him on the team. Like, he can't run anymore. But they did because they wanted to win a Super Bowl. They moved back some money that was bad money to move. Yeah. So they have put themselves in their spot where when you're on a budget, they're going, we've signed some bad deals. We did our version of all in just now. We have a quarterback who, because of us and the way that we intentionally do business and the way that we had to pay him and when, and he bent us over because that was what we dared him to do because we're idiots. I'm sorry for the name calling. I didn't mean that. So because of all of that.
And Dak used Blue Chew.
They are the first team. My second shipment just arrived. Shout out to Blue Chew.
Shout out to whoever's going to receive that Blue Chew enhancement from him. Later on this week,
and they are the first team in the new world of signing
that cereal in the morning.
They're the first team in the new world of void years on the back of contracts, where when those contracts run out, you have to account for that money. And so that happened with Dak and into his new deal. So they are in their worst financial spot because of their version of aggression before, combined with their bad decision making. So there is a world that exists where the Cowboys did just look at this season and they said, we have to do nothing for our budget to set ourselves up for our next push. There's a world where that's all they're doing. Yeah. And they're about to be aggressive and they're about to get right back in the mix, and you have the cornerstone pieces. So like, this team is not that far away, but we are currently in the season where they opted to do nothing, and it's just infuriating. So
this team is far away.
Yeah, Supers. Yeah, Vance is here. So do we have Jeff arguing for the front office to get the best players and Jesse favoring the coaches getting players that fit their system?
This was in the first segment.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything's a combination of that, right? You want the absolute best players. And honestly, I just want coaches who can use the best players no matter what. If it has to fit your system, you're not a good coach. JJ, can't quit my team even though it's been an up and down relationship since I was 10 years old. I'm 55 now, and you guys are my new therapists. I don't know if that we're qualified, but thanks for being here.
Thank you, JJ.
God.
I don't know. It's a magic marker Monday because it's not a whiteboard Wednesday. It's a magic marker Monday.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we realize we don't work on Wednesdays for the most part.
Wednesdays.
Yeah, it's a magic marker Monday. What one position do you want the Cowboys to add to in the first round of the NFL draft? What do you need the most? Give us the position in the chat. That is next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
Now it's time. 2025 is right around the corner, and let's walk into the new year with some new flooring. EmpireToday.com has $350 off new flooring. Two things that you got to do, though. You have to use our promo code DLLS, and then you got to go online to do it. Wood, vinyl, carpet, wood, laminate, whatever the flooring choice you decide, Empire got you covered. They're not going to give you all the riff-raff, run-around stuff. They're going to set you off right with great professionals, great quality, great brands. Now, you know, you're going to get what you pay for, and they're going to give you the great stuff. You don't want to go to 2025 with that fugazi, flimsy stuff. Head over to EmpireToday.com and use our promo code for $350 off. Get the best flooring to go underneath your feet so you can walk into 2025 sparkling and brand new.
Do that. Also, we want to shout out to our new friends, and this is something that is coming here in, what is it, about 30 days? The East-West Shrine Bowl.
The Colorado Buffalo Bowl.
You're going to have some Colorado folks here. You sure are, and that's going to be awesome for the Shrine Bowl. The tickets are at shrinebowl.com, sir.
Oh, my fault.
Don't cross them up because they want you here.
My bad.
Shrinebowl.com is where you get tickets for $20. They're going to be playing at AT&T Stadium, the Shrine Bowl. And it is January 30th. And as a draft guy, I love the Shrine Bowl. It's a college football all-star game. You're going to see so many of the guys that your Cowboys could be interested in adding to the football team. So shout out to our friends at the Shrine Bowl. It'll be January 30th. It'll be the 100th East-West Shrine Bowl at AT&T Stadium. And we love it. We love that it's going to be here. Guys like Brock Purdy, Isaiah Pacheco, Zay Flowers played in this game. On your team, Brian Anger, Rico Dowdle, those sorts of dudes. So check them out. Tickets start at just $20, shrinebowl.com. Get my whiteboard. Get this thing out here.
Oh.
All right.
I snatched him so quickly.
Kerry is in the chat. He said, boys and girl, I say we add to the offensive line so Dak don't break another leg. Well, this time, Dak broke his own leg.
Yeah. That was Clarence's fault. Don't ever forget that.
That was Clarence's fault.
You have less rushing yards than Aaron Rodgers.
Kirk Cousins.
And you might have named a guy that retired 5 years ago.
Yeah, and then Dak stood there and listened to Clarence say that to his face and then tried to run the next week and ripped his hamstring off the bone. I forget if that looks right.
Oh, my God.
My I and E back. It'll be fine.
Hey.
It'll be fine.
Oh, what? Are you ready first?
Twins.
Well,
I was having the same issue, Brody.
I'm going to write it again.
That is why.
The other way and see which one looks right.
I was straight up about to put it into my phone to check.
That's not always true, though. It's only mostly true.
Okay.
Yeah. It looks right that way. Oh,
wait, defensive line doesn't have a C.
You don't know that. Who watches college football? A lot of people.
I love
weird
college
person.
football. Go Ducks.
I'm not going to lie. It's only been a couple years for me.
Calvin said we need... Boy, Calvin Jefferson is a badass receiver name.
Yeah.
You got Calvin Johnson and Justin Jefferson in the same name. Calvin Jefferson. If you weren't a cold-blooded middle school football player, but anyway,
would be a bad Jet safety.
Wide receiver, defensive tackle, wide receiver, general manager. We can't do general manager, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a Whiteboard Wednesday. What is the one thing, first round, you want to see them, assuming all the players are equal, which isn't the case, but don't worry about that. What do you want to see the Cowboys add to this football team in the first round of the NFL draft? I got mine right there. I got mine right there. We'll start with Aisha.
Why you gotta start with me?
Because
I think you were ready.
I'm trying to give you the big platform and the main stage.
You can't read my handwriting, but I said wide receiver.
Show you can read it. Yeah, look.
Can you read?
Yeah.
I stole.
It looks like Uncle Renner, but you know.
Leave me alone. But I said wide receiver because, I mean, I'm sure Jeff's going to talk about it, but for me, I went through all the different positions and I couldn't rationalize them.
What do you mean you couldn't rationalize?
I could rationalize DT, but I don't think that they're going to do that because they already did that already. Yeah, taking a tight end, unless it's Brock Bowers in the first round, can't rationalize it. Cornerback, possibly, maybe. I just was having trouble trying to rationalize like that they needed it that bad. I just want to score more points. And if your offensive line is going to have pass protection issues from the tackle position, which it seems like it might have for a while, I want guys that can get open on their own.
Okay. We wouldn't have to. You could get another tackle, and then you wouldn't have problems at the tackle position.
So you talking about taking offensive line in the first round again, Jeff?
No, you know what I'm talking about taking in the first round because we talked about it before the show, ma'am, and then you wrote it down.
I agreed with you.
Yeah, there's no I before E involved in quarterback.
That's why I said why you make me go first.
That's true.
That's why I was like, why you make me go first? Because I knew ours was going to be the same. But I agree with you. I'm not going to disagree with the fact that I think it's time.
Joe's going quarterback.
What?
No. You can't do two in the front.
No,
That's why I said I could
defensive line, and I want them to go back to back with defensive line. Not two in the first. They're not trading back into it. I want you to go with
Okay.
I want round one and I want round two defensive line because if you look at the best teams in the NFL, aside from the Chiefs, and even so because they got Chris Jones, you build from the defensive line out, in my opinion. You look at the team you just played, the Eagles. What do they do every single year? They have a defensive lineman fall to them that they turn into a game record, not home record.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
Look, pro sports, that happens.
Stop.
Young people with money tend to sleep around. Okay,
Yo.
Fair. You look at what the Rams are doing, talking about a team that went from irrelevant. What did they do? Well, they got Kobe Turner, not a first-round pick, but he's a baller. They got Braden Fisk. They got Jared Verse. They just keep adding to him. I want to see what the Rams did last season. Jared Verse, Braden Fisk. Go get me Derek Harmon in the second round, and then get me the kid from Michigan in the first round who I'm just drawing a blank on right now. And I don't know.
Graham?
Mason Graham.
You think a DN would be acceptable in the first?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I can deal with that.
You're gonna lose Osa potentially. You're gonna lose Chauncey potentially. You lost two guys last year. You got to build up the defensive line. Marshawn Nealon needs to take a step next season. You got to get depth.
What
got
you
to get
got?
rotation.
Your explanation is gonna be better than mine, Jeff.
Jesse, I like all the words. I just like that Jesse wrote a lot of words.
Yeah, I
so
seen
many
it.
words.
Here we go.
Let's get the smaller camera here.
There you go.
There we go. Right there.
Here, lift it a little bit.
Oh, there we go. Right
There you go. And then down a little bit.
There we
Down
go.
there you
Right
go.
there.
Yep.
So, skinny jeans, tailored so that their ankles are showing, plus an updated iPhone 18.
What about
You can't get an OC in the first round.
what about a razor?
Oh, no.
What about a razor?
No,
Yeah.
we don't, no. Because here's what I'm saying.
Can't you trade for those humans?
Boom. F these picks.
Oh, the Rams.
F these
Can you
picks.
trade for a coach?
Trade for a coach.
Oh,
Trade
a
for a coach in the first round.
Oh.
F those first round picks. Go get me a coach, a head coach / OC that wears skinny jeans and his ankles are showing and his iPhone 18 is updated, and let's freaking roll. I don't care about these picks. F these picks. Go get me the guy with the skinny jeans. I don't want them baggy khakis. I don't want the guy who looks like he's maybe a little bit out of shape and overweight. Don't want those guys anymore. I want the guys who wears tailored pants that tapered or tailored, whichever you prefer. The ankles, I need them showing. I need the ankles showing. That shows me a level of creativity right there.
creativity.
Well, it is.
Your
Your
pants.
ankles are showing. You have creativity. My ankles
Oh.
are showing. I have creativity. Go get the ankles. Give me the ankles. Are your ankles out? Look at those ankles. Creativity.
Yeah.
I'm
Go
screaming.
get the ankles and the iPhone. It got to be an iPhone.
What
I don't
about
want
a razor?
I don't want the razor.
Where are your ankles?
I don't want the razor. I don't want the razor. I don't want the razor. I think the razor may be a little bit much for me. Okay, that's a blast from the past. You're trying to bring something from the. See, you're trying to bring John Gruden out,
but it's the 2024.
I don't want John Gruden.
Listen, the emails weren't that bad.
I want.
He was targeted.
I want the iPhone 18. Okay.
Oh, you dummy!
2 years away.
You don't know.
But that's the innovation that we want leading this team.
I got 12. I'm off. Let me tell you something right now.
Joe said that's the innovation we want to see.
Thinking ahead. I want to be forward thinking. Give me somebody that's going to be
forward thinking. You want somebody who knows about the new snacks before they even come out.
Give me Baby D. You want Baby D. That's what I want. F these picks. F the first round pick. Trade it. Send it away. Go get me something that you know for sure will be ready to go. These first round picks, iffy, right? Look at this. We got a guy right now we got in the first round pick last year. Don't know if he can even play or not. They rotate him in and out with a guy named Chuma. Kid's confidence is all jacked up and messed up. We don't know what the hell this kid's going to be. Everyone wants to play right tackle, left tackle. You're not really sure, even if you pick in the first round, that guy's going to be ready to go when you need him to go. That's why we find ourselves in the way we find ourselves right now, because you keep waiting on these guys to all develop, all grow up, all do the same thing at the same time. And what ends up happening is you don't get them. And the other folks on the other team says, F these picks, and they go get players who are already established, who are already up and ready to go, and they kick your tail every single year. So I'm done. I'm over it. I'm tired of it. We're going into 2025 this year. God darn it, start something new in your life. Get rid of the old. Go get me the skinny jeans. Go get me the ankles out. Hey, the ankles out, make sure they're lubricated. You know what I'm saying? Vaseline is a man's best friend. Trust me. Trust your boy Jay Holly. Go get the guy with the iPhone 18 up to date. That way he can send different things to you. He can copy scan all on the iPhone.
What are you sending?
Right there.
You want a guy who faxes on his iPhone?
Yeah.
You can do that.
No, I know. I'm just.
You do all that.
You want a guy who sends fax?
Yeah, FaceTime. I want my camera to be 8K. Okay, I want to make a mini movie on the iPhone. I want him to not only be so innovative that he can make plays on the spot from his iPhone. Go get me that dude.
He's had it.
You don't got to trade for Cliff Kingsbury.
Go get me that guy.
You don't got to trade for Cliff Kingsbury.
Go get me the guy. F those picks. Put them somewhere where they're actually going to be useful.
You don't got to trade for Kellen Moore.
He's had it.
What if I told you?
30 for 30.
I think the guy you were picturing while writing that.
Oh.
You might be able to just hire him.
You haven't told him. Yeah, you just say oh.
The Bill Barnwell article I was reading yesterday was ranking the 9 head coaching openings that might be coming. He did not put the Cowboys on there, but he did put the Dolphins on there. He thinks Stephen Ross might just fire Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, I don't want him to be my head coach, though.
Well, that's if you want a good OC, you have to hire him as the head coach.
He's got skinny jeans and ankles showing.
Like, you don't know if Ben Johnson's a head coach. You're hiring him as an OC. You just have to give him that job.
He probably does have the iPhone 18.
He probably does have the right iPhone.
You know what? F it. Go get him.
Yeah!
Skinny jeans.
Let's go.
I before E.
He's gonna. I think I.
Except after C.
Yeah.
Oh, bro,
and it's not just because is it wrong this time?
Yeah, you spelled it wrong.
See, that's why I told you that it's not always that way.
Except after C.
That's after
the C.
Yes, it goes.
So that's the C.
That's the C.
And
that's
so
the C.
The I is before the E, but if it's after a C, you want to flip them around.
Yes.
All right, everybody, hold on a second.
You're good.
Everybody, hold on a second.
I definitely did.
Shout out to Allen High School.
I had a 2.9 GPA.
You were that smart?
C.
Abilene Christian.
I before E, but that's only
except after C.
So after
E,
the C, it'd be E.
It'd be EI.
And I played it. I was this close to the league because playing that position.
Thief would be IE. You see what I'm saying?
I was this close to the league playing receiver. I was that close to the league. If I could have got off press coverage,
you might have been this close to where the spelling bee.
5th grade, I won this. No, I lost in the championship round.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I thought that, what was the word? Damn it! I used to remember
spell it
what
again
the word was.
To feel something?
To see that I spelled it right.
Okay. I lost on the word qualifying because I went qualifying with IE instead of Y.
Oh,
except after C.
Yeah, because there wasn't a C.
Explain it.
Of the 15 top wide receivers in the league this year in terms of yards, 14 of them were drafted in the first 2 rounds. 11 of them were drafted in the first round. If you're trying to get CeeDee Lamb real help, your 3rd round, your undrafted free agent, your 7th round, like you're not actually trying. Like the Cowboys have gotten lucky at finding a quarterback twice on accident. One was an undrafted free agent. One was a 4th round comp pick. Same thing. If somebody finds a wide receiver that's a baller in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round, undrafted, it's rare. If you are actually looking for it,
that wear the skinny jeans.
he's not going to run a route.
Oh, no, but they
McVay,
find the guys.
But they find him.
McVay, Cooper Kupp, Puka.
Okay. Yes.
They find the guys.
If you go, and here's my problem: we are not looking for Puka Nacua.
Say it.
Because if you think you're the team that's going to find the 1 5th or 6th round pick that's an absolute baller at wide receiver as a rookie out of the 60 dudes taken there over a 4-year span, that's just not good odds. The odds are if CD needs a friend, that friend is in the top 50 picks.
You got a friend in me.
Get CD a friend. He deserves it. He's tried his very best, and he deserves it.
Trade that first for T. Higgins.
If you're not going to do it in the first 2 rounds at wide receiver, then you better. It's more likely you trade for a guy. They're not going to pay T and pay CD.
No.
Trade for Garrett Wilson.
Trade
my
for
new
Deebo
favorite
Samuel.
NFL player, Garrett Wilson, by
He's
the way.
over it, dog.
Garrett Wilson said, if Aaron Rodgers is here next year, I don't want to be here. Let me go somewhere else. He sucks, which I thought was hilarious, which again means my self-work is not done. But I thought it was hilarious. And then Aaron Rodgers scored 0 points through 3 quarters in their game yesterday. And as soon as he went out of the game, Garrett Wilson caught a touchdown from Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
So go give me Garrett Wilson, my new favorite player. I don't remember what's coming up next. More of the DLLS Cowboys podcast, and you better believe there is incredible stuff that we're going to talk about next.
Give me
All
those
the
ankles.
stuff next.
I'll take cankles.
No.
Doesn't cankles mean calf ankles? Like you
Some
got some
people have
big-
cankles.
that's
the
exactly
big
what it
joints.
They don't
The
bad
big
things.
joints.
Okay, you don't mind a hefty
Nah, good base.
ankle?
Yeah,
Good base.
Some
Yeah, good
cankles
base.
aren't.
We appreciate
Ankles.
everybody for watching, for being with us, for being part of the show. If you could hit the like and the subscribe button, we sure do appreciate those things. It means a lot to us. Why? Because it's good for the algorithm. So hit the like button if you're here. Jump in the chat. Tell us who has your favorite ankle. What was the first ankle that caught your attention? Or calf. Your favorite ankle or calf. Also, sign up to be a diehard. If you
Rihanna.
Okay.
Ooh, with an
right.
anklet?
Is that the ankle?
Ooh, with the anklet?
Mine is
Rihanna.
Meg on
from
Hercules.
Hercules. That's a great one.
That's the first time I realized what an ankle was.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Do you have weak ankles?"
Oh, she just threw a foot up?
yeah, in Hercules.
And you were into that?
No, I was.
No,
I
she
just-
Rihanna.
I just.
No, I see where you're going. Don't worry. They don't understand.
You can sign up to be a
They don't
diehard
understand.
at alldlls.com. When you do that, you get a free t-shirt from our merch shop, and our merch shop is badass.
So
My ankles was up here.
Yeah.
Jail.
She would be standing on top.
right to jail.
Oh, in a different way.
Right
You can
through
just
jail.
scan the QR code if you want to sign up to be a diehard, or you could go to alldlls.com and do that. And what you get when you do that, free t-shirt, discounts on merch, access to an ad-free experience on the website, access to all of our diehard level content written on the website, such as things that Joe Hoyt writes because he's the finest beat writer in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. Our Discord lounge, which is a great place to hang out during games for any local sports team or at any other time when you want to talk about ankles, feet, necks, snacks, movies, Pokemon, feet, whatever. We're in there. Yes,
Bobby goes, yeah.
Corralla heard it.
Oh.
We are planning a Pokemon Go diehard outing, so sign up if you want to be a part of that. It's way too early stages to have said that on the air, but I did it. So sign up. alldlls.com. Well, I'm really good at saying I'm going to do stuff and then not do it.
And let me apologize. Let me apologize to Rihanna and ASAP because that is a married woman.
Yeah.
And the things that I was insinuating
Yeah,
on
it's-
this air
Yeah.
was my fault, ASAP. My bad.
All you said was that you thought it would be fun if she stood on your shoulders.
No.
How else would her ankles be there?
Megan Fox Transformers is crazy.
Megan Fox Transformers is right,
Oh, man.
dude.
She's got to be psycho, though, right? She has to be a
100%.
full-on crazy person.
100%.
Like, you can see it in her
She
eyes.
with machine gun.
They,
yeah,
her, and,
yeah.
her and MGK drink each other's blood.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
let's
weird.
Yeah,
start now.
That's
You can
weird.
see it in her eyes. Yeah,
Well,
Drift.
Well,
Drift.
is that what your head coach?
I'm just saying, don't knock it to you.
Wasn't prepared for no
Super
vampires.
chats. Did I miss any other ones, or we just Aaron?
Oh, Aaron, you're
Huge
the man.
Cowboys fan, born and raised in Dallas, and huge fan of you all. First pick, all are available. What is your biggest need? Didn't we just do that?
My boy.
He wants skinny jeans. I want a wide receiver. She wants a
Don't
wide
forget
receiver.
the
He
iPhone,
wants a
though.
defensive lineman. He wants
Don't
somebody with an
forget the
iPhone
iPhone.
16, probably not an 18.
Not 18. I want to be forward thinking.
Appreciate you, Aaron.
I want you to. I want you to be able to have such great
Yeah.
future thinking.
Yeah.
That iPhone sends you one early.
Okay. Here's the good news. When you talk about the Cowboys' biggest need, this is when you find out that your team is in really good shape. Your biggest need is left tackle right guard, right tackle, wide receiver. We might need to talk about tight end, running back, defensive tackle, linebacker, and corner. And maybe a safety.
Maybe a safety.
Maybe a defensive end.
Maybe a defensive end.
Maybe another offensive lineman.
Maybe another defensive tackle.
So you're right there. All you got to do is have 11 first-round picks, and you are in this MFer.
And have 7 of them hit.
And that was my thing about yesterday's game. Is like for 5 or 6 weeks, I feel like we were just doing the farting around and like, will they beat this okay team? And will they beat this okay team? And Jeff, you're being annoying because you just want them to lose every game, and that's dumb. And like I get it, and that's kind of true and annoying, and I get it. But they just played the Eagles without the Eagles starting quarterback, which is fine because the Eagles starting quarterback probably isn't that good either. But like that's the teams, you know, the teams who you were beating and playing competitive football with, like that's all fine and good. That's where Jerry Jones lives. Can I be one of them and hopefully one of the best ones of the teams that are in the middle and maybe sneak out, win in a division and do all that thing? Here's what I wrote down of what happened to the Cowboys this season. You got to play the Lions.
Yeah.
You lost by 40.
Uh-huh.
You got to play the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
You lost by 24.
Mm-hmm.
You got to play the Niners. You were down by 17 at the end of the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They did do the weird little almost comeback. Yeah. The Ravens were beating you 28-6 at the end of the third quarter. The Eagles just beat you 41-7. They beat you 34-6 before that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the teams.
But what did the Saints do? I'm just kidding.
These are the teams. Yeah. That's who you have to beat. Mm-hmm. And you have to beat like 3 of those in a row if you want to be the team you want to be. Yeah. And every time you play them, they take you behind the woodshed and they take off a belt. And I feel like they're even hitting you with the metal part of the belt, like the clasp.
Oh,
like it's just, you ain't that close, man.
They're taking a razor scooter to your ankles.
There's so much to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you guys ever played the skip it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you forget to get your, you don't get your foot up enough?
Ooh, some bad memories.
Bang.
You ever ridden a bike down by the creek in the woods on the little hills, and it turns out that there's a rock that sticks out of one of the hills as you go up, and you accidentally get airborne, and the bike lands in the creek, like a 15-foot drop, and you, thank God, bail off before you go into the creek, but it's like a 12-foot drop for you, and you separate a shoulder.
Yeah. I ain't never went through nothing like you. Okay,
right? That was just me.
All right.
No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that one.
You had me. Like I was with you. Like I'm telling you, because we had this place called Deeks.
Yeah.
In Jersey, where we used to go and ride, and then you start talking about creeks and all that kind of stuff.
This was in the woods, and it had natural formations.
No, we did too. Like I'm telling you, it's called Deeks.
Okay.
But then you start talking about doing all that 15-foot drop stuff, separated shoulder, we lost.
It was just a really big hill, and then the back end of it went down, and then right when it flattened out, you hit the creek, and you could kind of jump off of this side and go down this side, but there's this little rock that kind of pointed out, and I would hit that with the front tire and pull up at the same time and try to get going.
Right.
And I did, and the bike landed in the creek, and I landed.
Like, is like water in there?
Not really.
No.
Like, not enough that it would be like, no, like it wouldn't cover your shoe.
Oh,
it would just be yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would have died.
Happened to you, Jeff.
We would have died. Jeffrey,
that happened to you.
Jeffrey living trauma live on YouTube. Oh, I mean, we could do that for a long time. Shout out to Mondays, which are therapy days. As soon as I leave here.
The Magic Marker Monday.
And so black people don't do that. Jeff.
I don't know, Steve.
That wasn't all. Yeah. Okay.
I think
Jesse said yeah.
I got 15 dudes from Jersey. We used to ride up to the white side of Roselle to a place called Deeks. How do you spell
Deeks?
Don't know.
Okay.
Ours didn't have a name. But anyway, that was just my take.
Before I. Before E.
That was just my takeaway from yesterday's game, is that it was cute and it was fun watching the team fight and compete, and all right, the Bengals, and all right, I don't even remember who they played anymore. That's all. I've forgotten all of it because you played another good team, and that other good team matched you for not having their quarterback and treated you like you belong in a different sport. And I'm tired.
Yeah.
And so, dear Jerry, please, for the love of 8-pound, 6-ounce baby Jesus, because I like the baby version the best.
Understood.
For the love of him and all that is holy, try this offseason. Like, you don't have to stay in town for spring break. You can go on vacation. Just let Will McClay be allowed to sign people and talk to people. Like, I don't want to take your vacation from you. I know that spring break is incredibly important. It's a family operation.
Lord willing.
Facts. Lord willing is real.
Lord willing.
But
Yeah.
you're tired. You're tired.
Tired.
That's all. I'm tired.
I get it, dude.
Truth
But
is,
you're right.
I'm
You're right. You know,
I'm
we
tired.
have been looking at them and evaluating what we see each game or whatever. But to your point, like when you go up against the best and you see what the best looks like, this is how we gauge it, and they're not there yet. And to add on to your point about Kenny Pickett, the odds evened out with the quarterbacks, but their team built around the quarterback to a point to where the system still went on and it worked for them, and you couldn't do that.
Yeah, like our game watching experience is. What do you guys think? Could Brock Hoffman maybe start in the NFL? Maybe. Do you think that Maris Leofau could maybe be an NFL starter? Well, they're just running out 40 All-Pros and beating the brakes off of us. We're like, hey, but we might find a starter for the NFL somewhere, and I'm tired.
The more maybes you add to your questions, the more L's you add.
Well, they gaslight us into taking the bare minimum.
I also think, too, the one game they actually beat a good team this year, the Steelers. They were not playing the Russell Wilson-led Steelers, which are a little bit different. But two, I thought you had a good running performance from Rico Dowdle. You had pretty good defense, and Dak Prescott played well. Like, you're going to need that 10 times. I mean, that's what it took everything going right, frankly, to beat a team without their starting quarterback.
Yeah. And so that's where we are. As a kid, I face planted while bike riding. Woke up later that day with front teeth missing, a scar on a nose that I still have. Buddy of mine lost a nipple in a bike accident.
Bro, should I tell a traumatic story?
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh.
you should.
I once got a twister so bad that a little piece came off, and it was bleeding. It was bad.
And did it grow back?
It
as
did
a
grow
nip?
back normally, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, that's what I've always
It's
wanted.
always a little bit sensitive, though. That's the weird thing.
Because my buddy, we built
Like
a
arousal?
No, like more like ooh, ouch. You know, like it just.
No, because for me,
They're close, pain, and yeah, no, that's fair. No, yeah, that's
it's
good.
the party going for me. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if we're doing therapy stuff, my shame and pleasure things are intertwined, unfortunately, and it takes work to have to undo those.
That's yeah.
Was that like
Jeff,
an innuendo of some sort?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
no,
it's-
no, he's
there's
saying
an
they're
element
close.
of shame involved in
Yeah.
that for me.
I was thinking about what you're thinking. Are they
Oh
close in
yeah.
diameter?
Yeah.
Anybody have any therapy questions? How do you lose a nipple in a bike accident? Great
question.
So we weren't scientists, but we could find pieces of wood,
Yeah.
and so just on the street
Oh,
in
I
front of
see.
the house, we built a ramp.
Yep. Yeah, you did.
And the ramp was just, the one piece of wood and then a bunch of bricks or whatever we had that could make it get as high as we needed it to get. And it was not sturdy or stable or whatever. And my buddy, his name was also Jeff. He decided,
Are we talking about you?
no,
Oh, okay.
because, you would hit it and the street that we were on was going downhill a little bit. So you could hit that sucker at speed. And I would say our ramp was probably 4 to 5 feet tall. So we were flying off that sucker and
yep.
landing our bikes on flat concrete. It wasn't fun even when you landed. But he decided he was going to ride a wheelie off of the ramp.
Yep. Yeah,
So
you
he
did.
started at the bottom and he got going a little bit and then popped the wheelie and got up to the end. And then at the end, when you just roll slowly,
Yeah.
what happens is you just fall. And so his thing went, and his nip just went down the front of the wood, the end of the wood, and just, and it hung on just a little bit.
That was the worst wording you could have chosen.
And then
the hang on.
because it hung on,
Nope, we got to stop with
he
that.
was able to keep it eventually. But it did make me wonder, if you lost it completely, does it grow back as said unit, or does it just scab over and you have skin there?
as
like a
someone
lizard.
that
Oh no, the whole completely thing. I don't know.
I can answer.
You've lost it.
Not me,
Okay.
but yes, it does. I've seen it with several women in the military.
It would grow back as a
Yes,
tip.
yes.
Interesting.
It might look a little different, but I've had several accounts where it has.
Okay, thank you.
I
appreciate it.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Well, switch-
tight
No,
end.
fine. Vance, end the show now.
Tight end is kind of iffy right now.
Yeah.
Jake's had a rough season.
How many of y'all grabbed your chest at the sound of losing a nip?
Question for you guys: when you guys see a stick, like, do you want to pick up the stick?
Well, I call it depends on the stick. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're like walking around, you're like, oh, that's a
That's a
like
good
it's a
stick.
long.
if it's a good walking stick,
Yeah, good
I
walk-
refer to it as a staff, and yes,
Yeah.
I will pick it up.
you want to pick one up?
Okay,
Is it
Jesus.
a stick?
Yeah,
I think
if you
more
see one, you want to
Danoff,
pick it up,
but-
or is this only a guy thing? I think guy
I think it's a dude thing.
Yeah, where
I
I'm
might
like-
see it and be like, "Oh, Congo wants this." I don't know, but
Absolutely not.
Every time I go hiking, I find the right staff on the hike, and then when I leave the hike, I'll leave it by the entrance to the hike, so someone else can take it.
A staff is insane.
There you go.
Thanks for being here, and we're sorry. Remember
oh my God.
that Jerry's still here, so it's all hopeless. Remember that you have no idea what anyone's going through, so be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.
Or else. Not a threat.
Not a threat.
We all silly like the mayor.